My next guest is a University of Puget Sound professor and author. Her new book, Who is a Worthy Mother, is out today. And it looks at the history of adoption policies and practices in America. And it's deeply personal because she too is adopted. Please welcome to New Day, Rebecca Wellington. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me, Amity.
Of course. So the first question, of course, is growing up, did you know anything about the circumstances of your adoption?
I always knew I was adopted, but there were just a lot of things I didn't know. I knew virtually nothing about my birth mother. I knew I was born in California, and that was pretty much it. It was a blank slate.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so did you ever have a desire? I mean, I think wanting to know our history is so huge.
Yes.
Did you have a desire to find your biological parents?
I didn't for a long time, and you know, in the process of writing this book, I really realized that a lot of my life, my childhood and growing up, I kind of pushed it to the side.
Right.
So just with this ambition to really just assimilate and kind of close that door, don't think about it, assimilate into the family I was adopted into. And then really powerful moment in my life in 2017, 4 days before the last eclipse, my sister, my older sister, who was also adopted and relinquished a baby herself, she died of a drug overdose.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rebecca.
And it was transformational, tragic, very traumatic. And I remember going to the eclipse 4 days later and just thinking, oh my gosh, the world is over. It was a life-changing moment. And watching her body literally be put into the ground.
Grief is unlike anything that we can, it really takes, it doesn't just take the heart, it takes everything from you. But I want to talk about birth, because you write that birth and the birth of your daughters changed your perspective.
Yes.
How so?
So they were born before my sister died. And you know, something I was always told growing up was, my birth mother was young, she couldn't have me, she had to give me up. It was the best thing she did so she could go on with her life. And my two daughters are the only two people I know to date who I'm biologically related to. So giving birth to them and meeting them was just unbelievable.
Crazy.
And I realized when my first daughter was born, I just knew unconditionally that when I was born, that was an absolute tragic crisis for my birth mother.
Like heart-wrenching.
Just heart-wrenching to relinquish a child, a baby that you have carried for 10 months, and then to give it up and just walk out of the hospital the next day alone to go on with your life. Like I just knew that wasn't true. Having just given birth to my first daughter.
That is powerful. You're going to make me cry, because it's a really powerful emotion. So you did, though, try to find folks that were related to you, because I understand you encountered a lot of roadblocks on your journey.
Yes.
Tell me about those roadblocks and how it led you to writing this book.
So after my sister died, I just, you see life in a really sort of distilled way. And it's like, I've got to do this. I have to find my history. I have to find my roots. I have to find my people. And I went to my parents. They had nothing. They gave me my birth certificate, which was falsified. So it has their names on it. It's a falsified birth certificate, which that was the norm. I found that out in the history. That was part and parcel of adoption policy. And I talked to an attorney here in Seattle, and she was like, you would have to get a court order to open your birth records, your original birth records in the state of California, because they're sealed. So I don't have access to them. And so I just was, like you said, I was hitting wall after wall. And I just finished my doctorate at the University of Washington in education history. And I was like, well, I can research. I know how to research. So I just started reading everything I could about adoption history in the United States, because I'm like, this is the only way I can get answers.
And did you get any answers?
Yeah, it was, it was mind-blowing. My first response was, how do I not know this history? How do we collectively as a society not know this history? Because it flies in the face of everything, sort of this myth that we believe about adoption.
Well, I mean, and that's just it. And everyone has a different story, and you uncovered a lot of myths. And what are some of the themes you also uncovered?
So the biggest theme, where the title comes out of, is the last 120 years of adoption in this country is all about transferring a baby from a woman who is deemed unworthy to mother to a woman who's deemed worthy of mothering. And the folks who are really vulnerable, so women who are experiencing poverty, women who don't have resources, immigrant women, women of color, young women, unmarried women, they are just treated as not worthy of mothering. And it's the whole project is just transferring a baby to somebody who society deems worthy of mothering. And it's just amazing how many stories there are of forced relinquishment of babies, stealing babies, pilfering babies. It's just stunning. It was stunning to read this history.
It's going to be infuriating, I think, to many people.
Yes.
But what do you hope people ultimately take from the book?
So as a teacher, as a historian, I think it is so important that we have conversations, we have difficult conversations, and that we know our history. We as a nation have to know this history so that as we move forward, especially in this post-Roe era, we don't follow in those same footsteps of really hurting women who are vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having the courage to share your vulnerability in your story, because it is a hard thing to do. And we're so grateful that you came in to share this and that you have written this. And congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much. And I do want to say I am speaking at Third Place Books Ravenna on May 2nd. So please come and love to meet you.
Go meet her. She's lovely. You're going to have a good time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.